I got to be honest with you. I wish last year we had graduation in November so we could get started with this bunch. These seniors have been playing for a long time. Some of them got to play as sophomores a little bit. We took some lumps. And last year they kind of turned things around. We went 8-3, and we had 6 seniors on last year's squad. And they played big roles. But the big part were the juniors. You never can downplay the leadership of seniors. But when you only have 6 on the entire team, it made it rough. And these folks were the ones that really had to come through for us. And they did a good job. So we're looking forward to having them back this time. And again, I'm not going to make any predictions. But I'll tell you one thing. When we get started with these folks out here, they'll get after you. And we'll give you everything you got. Our first one here, quarterback, part-time defensive end, Dwayne Taylor. There's a baseball coming out. Notice that. The tip of the hat there. You've seen those all-star games. Our next young man is a wideout. Defensive back, started with us last year. Was a part-time starter last year and ended up being a starter this year, Jeremy Byrne. Jeremy also was part of the Governor's Scholar Program. He was gone for about 6 weeks up to Northern Kentucky University, getting involved in all kinds of smart stuff. And it's always good to have people like that around us. Next young man, I got to tell you, when he was a sophomore, he said, I'll be there. And he wasn't. When he was a junior, he said, I'll be there. And he wasn't. He told me last spring, he said, I'll be there. And I said, no, you won't. He's been here every time we open the door. We can't get rid of him. He's one of our starters in the defensive backfield as a wideout. We've got about 5 defensive backs, that are, even though we only play with 4 of them, but we call them all 5 starters because they're all going to play about the same amount. Derek Metter. Next young man didn't like to play offense last year. I don't know why. He kind of liked to play defense. I think he'd been standing around Coach Cooper too long. And I think that you only play that time of the ball game when you're on defense. He's got to be one of the hardest hitters we have on our team. And he gets a running start from his safety spot right there. He'll hit you, and he'll knock you into the middle of next week. Offensive starter is a wideout. Defensive back starter, Trey Morris. Next young man is a first-year guy. He's kind of light, been playing as a wideout and a defensive back. He's gotten a lot better here in the last 3 or 4 weeks. Mac Bowden. Next young man started as tailback part-time as a sophomore, started again last year, amassed 954 yards, averaged 4.9 yards per carry. And when you watch us play, if we don't throw it, we give the ball to the tailback most of the time. He's the reason. He's probably our second fastest member of our squad. We're looking forward to 125 yards every night out of him. Starts also as a defensive back, Ricky McPeak. We got to take a little break here. We got crazy legs. Brad started out as a sophomore, and he showed some good speed and learned a whole lot about the game of football. And played as a part-time starter last year as tailback. You might remember in the Berrien County game, he broke through on a little isolation play, went 73, 74 yards, and he trotted back to the sideline like he'd been doing that all his life. So we're happy to have him back here. But it's been one of our days out here in shorts and shoulder pads. He broke his ankle. He was going to play a big part offensively, defensively, definitely on special teams this year. He gets his cast and stuff off next week. So hopefully we'll have him back about halfway through the season. Brad Stanger. Next young man's been playing since, I guess, freshman. They were sophomores when I first got here. We've had Rob, he's been in the weight room all this summer, and we needed some help at tight ends. We needed some help at different spots. And Rob, being a senior, has always been a fullback. Now he's going to get a little time there at tight end because we needed some help there. Kind of like to have 2 or 3 there. Rob Grapes is a part-time tight end, part-time fullback when we need one, and then defensively is a linebacker. Next young man started playing again last year. is a starter last year defensively. This year he's starting as a fullback. He averages 5.1 yards per carry, so we're going to probably give the ball to a fullback a little more than what we've done in the past. And starts as a defensive end for us, Kevin Cox. Next young man's been starting since a sophomore as a linebacker, and we went to E-Town in the playoff game, part in what we do. Kenny Whitney. Next young man started out playing this summer and had some back problems that we didn't do. They came beforehand, but is not able to play. But he's going to stick around and help us out as a manager, helping out doing some things here around this, and it's Brad Absher. Next young man is offensive guard, defensive end. I guess it always played defensive tackle. Up until this year, we've run into some numbers problem. And so now plays a little defensive end and is starting as an offensive guard, Greg Guy. We'd probably give this guy a sociology award already. Been in class for a week. He might be one of the smartest sociology people we've had yet. His favorite question is, what's for lunch? A defensive tackle, offensive guard, has played on all kinds of special teams up until this year. We're trying to keep him out on some of these things. George Whitney. His next door neighbor offensively, an offensive tackle, number 73, Bucky Bolden. Bucky's lost a little weight. He's got to where his stamina's a little better than what it was last year. Starts off also as a defensive tackle. So again, he's been a starter since he was a sophomore, so a whole lot of experience there. Bucky Bolden. Next young man is another one of our starters in the secondary, one of our five back there. Jake can play either cornerback or he can play a safety. He plays tight end, he plays some wide out, he'll do a little bit of all of it. He's got some good hands, and we're going to try to get the ball to him. Jake Miller. See, they're a good group. They work hard, they're fun to be around. And like I said a while ago, I think if you'll come out here and watch these people, it'll be a good year. They represent our school, they represent our community, they represent their families very well. And one of the values of athletics is not just whether you win or lose. You know, you like to win them, but you also want to have good citizens. And we have some good people here representing Allen County Scottsville High School. And we'd appreciate it if you'd continue to support. Keep coming out here every Friday night. We have 6 home games, and you can get a deal on these tickets. They've got tickets down here, Coach Young does. And we've had to do a few things a little bit different this year because of some budgetary matters. Our students can buy tickets to get 6 home games for $6. Get you in for that. That's just $1 more than it was last year. So that's a good deal. And then our adults, we have some season tickets. The chairback seats are gone, but you can get a season ticket, get you into 6 home games for $10. So you can't beat that deal. You can go someplace else and it's a whole lot more. And we appreciate everything that you folks have done for Allen County Scottsville Patriot football in the past. And we look forward to seeing you here tomorrow night packing these stands. And we'll get going on the '94 season on a good note.